The time for talk is over. We need people that produce results. And in Florida, most people run for office, they overpromise and underdeliver. We made bold promises to the people of Florida. We met every single commitment we made, and in fact, we over-delivered on our promises as governor. We enacted universal school choice for every parent in the state of Florida. We enacted and expanded Second Amendment rights in the state of Florida. We signed the heartbeat bill to protect innocent human life in Florida. We stood to ensure our schools are about education, not indoctrination. We eliminated critical race theory in our K-12 schools. We prohibited gender ideology in our K-12 schools. And if we had to stand up to Disney to make that happen, we stood up to Disney and stood up for our parents. We have decaf ESG in the state of Florida. We stood up against illegal immigration by banning sanctuary cities, sending our troops to the border to help Texas, and even transporting illegal aliens to beautiful Martha's Vineyard. We stand up for the blue, and we prevent the defunding of police, and Florida's crime rate is at a 50-year low as a result. We have cut taxes by $2.7 billion. We have paid down, since I've been governor, 25% of our state's total outstanding debt. Can you imagine if they actually did that in Washington, how much better off we would be? We have prohibited the purchasing of land in the state of Florida by the Chinese Communist Party and its affiliates. And when the world went mad during COVID, when common sense suddenly became an uncommon virtue, the state of Florida stood as a refuge of sanity, as a citadel of freedom, not only for Floridians, but for Americans and even for people around the world. We refused to allow our state to descend into some type of Faucian dystopia. We chose freedom over Fauciism. So we need to produce those kind of results in Washington, D.C. We will reverse Bidenomics and give the middle class a chance in this country again. We're going to stop Congress from spending this country into oblivion. They caused the inflation with the spending and the borrowing and the debt. We need a balanced budget amendment to the U.S. Constitution, and we need term limits for members of the U.S. Congress. We will get the bureaucracy off the backs of small businesses and our farmers and our individual entrepreneurs. We will ensure energy independence in this country. Oil, gas, biofuels from here in the Midwest. We don't want to rely on hostile regimes, and we are not going to force Americans to buy electric vehicles and to make us more reliant on communist China. We will be the president that finally ends the issue of the southern border once and for all. We'll declare it to be a national emergency on day one. We'll put the military on the southern border. Yes, we will build the border wall, but we will lean in against the Mexican drug cartels because they are poisoning this country. If they try breaking into our country with fentanyl, we are going to authorize deadly force. They're going to end up stone cold dead at the border. We will also usher in a reckoning for the federal government's disastrous COVID-19 lockdown policies, mandate policies. People like Fauci must be held accountable. We will bring that accountability so that this never happens in our country ever again. We will stand up for the rights of parents. We cannot allow our school systems to be tools of leftist indoctrination any longer. Education, not indoctrination. We will reconstitutionalize the federal government. We will slay the administrative state, and we will end the weaponization of government. You're going to get a new FBI director on day one. You're going to get the DOJ cleared out. There's going to be a single standard of justice in this country again, and we are going to stop the weaponization of federal power. As a veteran, we understand that we cannot have a successful military if it's indulging in social experimentation, woke agenda, and political ideology. On day one as Commander-in-Chief, we rip the woke out, we rip the social experimentation out, and we will restore our military to mission first, like it belongs. Here's the deal. 2024 is make or break for this country. Freedom is fragile. Our founding fathers understood this. When Benjamin Franklin walked out of the Constitutional Convention, he was asked, did you give us a republic or a monarchy? And he said a republic if you can keep it. Because they understand each generation is going to be called upon to step up and preserve freedom when it's under assault. And I'm motivated for this fight because I want my kids and eventual grandkids to have the same opportunities that we have. But I'm also motivated because I understand we owe a debt of gratitude to people throughout the generations who have fought for this country so that we can be free. I used to fly up to Washington, D.C., and there was a particular route you can take going into Reagan Airport. It was flush parallel to the National Mall. If you look outside the left side of the plane, you saw beautiful views up close. Lincoln Memorial, the reflecting pool, the Washington Monument, and perched on the hill, the beautiful U.S. Capitol building. And you felt a sense of pride as an American because those symbolize the ideas that make this country unique. But I figured out after doing that trip a few times, the best monuments weren't out the left side of the plane. Because if you looked out the right side of the plane, you looked over the Potomac River, you saw a series of very small, nondescript monuments orderly arranged over the rolling hills of a place called Arlington National Cemetery. And it occurred to me then, and I believe now, you can have the best Constitution in the world, you could have the best Declaration of Independence in the world. These things do not run on autopilot. They require each generation to cultivate them, and yes, it requires from time to time people to put on a uniform, stand up there, risk their lives, and indeed give the last full measure of devotion for service to this country. So the question for us is, are we going to preserve that sacred fire of liberty that those men and women have fought for, or are we going to squander it? The time for excuses is over. We must get the job done in 2024. I'm asking for your support in the January caucuses because I can pledge to you this: I will get the job done. I will not let you down. God bless you all. Let's win this thing. God bless the great state of Iowa. God bless the United States. Let's go on to victory. Thank you, and God bless